I'm going to be teaching you a skill that you can use when you are working with families that are challenging for whatever reason. This intervention is called RACE. So reflect, anticipate, um, change, and then evaluate.
Okay.
Okay, so to get us started, I want you to think about a family that has been challenging for you.
Okay.
Do you have one in mind?
Yes.
Okay. So let's go through reflection. So this is a time for you to think about what behaviors that parent has that pushes your buttons.
Okay.
Are there certain emotions that this parent or family brings up for you that is more difficult to cope with or respond to?
Okay.
Okay, so as you're thinking about that, we'll just actually have you write it down.
Okay.
And then we can kind of talk through your
Okay.
responses.
Okay.
Tell me what behaviors that this family does that pushes your buttons.
Okay. So, mom often will Google information and really worry about things that haven't really been validated by a doctor. So an example is their child's not eating enough. So worrying that their child's not eating enough. So often talking about it a lot and worrying about it a lot and force feeding them and doing things like that. When the child's on the normal growth curve, the pediatrician's not concerned, but we're often talking about it.
Okay. And are there certain emotions that this parent has that are more difficult for you to cope with or respond to?
So mom is often worried and has anxiety surrounding the food and how much they're eating, their child's eating, and that's makes me frustrated because we've checked with the pediatrician and no one else is concerned about it except for mom.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. And so so you mentioned that you get frustrated when it comes
Yes.
up. So
Yeah.
what does that look like for you?
So I try not to be outwardly frustrated, of course, because I want the family to know that I'm there as a support person. So what I will do is I will reflect with mom and say, well, what did the pediatrician say? And really kind of the same questions every time. Like, remember, they're gaining weight, all of those things. We're not worried about it. Toddlers don't eat that much throughout the day. They usually only get one good meal. Just really saying those same things over and over again, which I think is where my frustration comes in, because I'm like, we just had this conversation last week. Yeah.
Okay. And are there blind spots that come up for you when working with this family? So this could be.
So I think I know that mom has talked about like their child being premature and being in the NICU and gaining weight then and those things, and I've never experienced that before. So I think that that's something that could be a blind spot for me because I've never experienced a child in the NICU or having a child that's premature and worrying about weight gain so we can leave and those things. And then also it could be also cultural for me. I know that certain cultures worry about food and that's a super important meal and those things, and I don't necessarily have a family. I'm a single woman, so I think that too is I have a different perspective on mealtime and eating and those things.
Gotcha.
So that could be my blind spots.
Okay. And you also kind of answered the next question about how does your culture impact you and how you're responding in this situation.